Hello there. Today I would like to discuss with you a book called The Sound and the Fury, written by William Faulkner. It is only 490 pages long in totality and contains approximately 94,000 words. You'll have fun here. Stick around for this plethora of topics that I will discuss with you and ask you about how I did and what you think about them. Moving on to the first thing that is on the list is the summary of the story. The story revolves around a particular family living through the time where slowly their relationships are degrading due to the causes of their main likes and dislikes, egos, as well as the society. The societal elements that I am talking about here are two in major concerns, that is stereotypes and prejudice. This is very predominant, and we see how the different characters of this particular family live through this time and difficult times. That was a brief overview of the summary of the story. Moving on to the setting of the story. The story is set around 1900s to early 1800s. We can say that by the account of letters and carriages is the major mode of communication and transport, but there also has been a dawn of automobiles or cars in this world as well. But it is situated, preferably we can say that it is situated maybe in America, because of the similar time frame the author lived in America, William Faulkner. Hence, the world is very similar to America of early 1900s to late 1800s. But more than that, the way people have been described in this world is astonishing. People in this world have their own likes and dislikes, and not just about things, about people themselves. People amongst each other have likes and dislikes, which you may think is very common. But these likes and dislikes have been sourced through prejudice and stereotype of every single particular thing, be it the country of your origin, be it your skin color, or be it a certain way you are mentally or cognitively enabled. We can see how this has impacted people's action as well as the speech that I will describe in the character section dialogue. But this takes the major key of the setting of the story is how people have been demonstrated around the world, how they have been described as the part of the environment, while the rest of the things almost as the same as our world. Moving on to the character dialogue part of the story. As I have already stated, the character dialogue has been heavily influenced by the stereotypes and prejudice of the story. How? Because the people of the darker skin color have a particular way or particular dialect of speaking English. One thing you notice that the dialogue of people of different skin color vary. The people of darker skin color have a different word composition, have different phrases and sentences clearly distinguishable in the text from the people of the lighter skin color. This has been left to indicate the differences that the society has created amongst them. Even in speech, or when the two skin colored people of different skin color are interacting, they interact in a certain standard code of conduct, which is completely unheard of. That was as observed in the book. As well as you can say the English is somewhat of an older American English due to two reasons. One, the author is of that time as well, and second, some phrases have been used in this book which indicate to that time. Moving on to the narration of the book. The narration is non-linear. Basically, there are different timelines of the story mixed up here and there for the first chapter. Then on it's linear somewhat, but the main way of storytelling is non-linear with respect to the time. Different events of different time may jumble up one another. So that is the main narration, but the narration tone also varies from time to time. Sometimes it is from the point of view of the character is the narration done in one particular chapter, while in other particular chapter it is as descriptive and as full of imagery and metaphor as possible. It describes the scenes in a very lively manner that you can imagine and hear the bellowing of somebody who is bellowing as the hammer strikes the anvil. So these are all very examples of metaphors and devices used in the narration, which are very fun to read, by the way. Okay, lastly, moving on to some last section of our book review right here is the aim of the book that the book has generally described, is to just show these societal prejudice, societal misunderstandings between people, as well as stereotypes, how they degrade relation, how they create unnecessary hate. And my analysis of all of this book was mainly one thing. Since this book had a very non-linear way of dealing with things, you will not have the context of a certain event that you might be reading, but substituting the loss of that context is the very beautiful thing that you'll see, that without needing any context, you can see in raw form, in a very, I'd say, unbiased form, the message that the author tries to give, the message that I've been repeating for such a long time. The prejudice, the hate, the misunderstandings, the stereotypes. You can clearly see them through an unbiased lens. Because you do not have all this context, that is, you only get it after you read it. Obviously, you will get the context. I do not mean that you will not get the context, but you will only get it after you put pieces together, after you have finished reading the book. And that provides a message that the author wants to give, and also increases the curiosity in a very big manner. And once you get the message, you also start to think and compare it to what your society is and how you fit into that society as an individual. And do you think that's the right thing? Do you think that the society, how it's structured, is the right way how the society is structured? It gives also a spell of introspection. And that was my book review. I hope you enjoyed this book review. I will post as frequently as possible. I will try to keep once in every 2 weeks, so I can keep you guys updated and keep up myself with the book reviews. I particularly enjoy doing them. So I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.